Welcome into the RotoWire Soccer DFS show. We're talking Saturdays, February 15th, 5-game Premier League slate over at DraftKings. Ryan, happy Valentine's Day to you. Big things ahead the rest of the day. So we're going to get this show out to everyone before they're celebrating a national holiday is what I'll say here.
Yeah, big things, big plans tonight.
rotowire.com/soccer to get all of your content. I did write up an article. It's over 1,000 words. Also, you got to be a subscriber to look at it. Yep, it's under a paywall. rotowire.com/soccer trial to get our cheat sheets and also to check out that article, which is going up in 20 minutes, 3:30 p.m. Eastern. It will be live on rotowire.com/soccer.
Over 1,000 words. Very nice.
Over 1,000 words. I don't know. I was motivated. I saw the prices and I was like, we need 500 words on Bournemouth players. So let's give it out to the people is what I say. So speaking of Bournemouth, let's look at the odds. Aston Villa, the biggest favorite, 67%, but their implied goal total is basically the same as Bournemouth's, who are at Southampton. So pretty similar there. Difference is Aston Villa are at home, and seemingly whenever we have this conversation about Aston Villa on a DraftKings slate, they disappoint. So shouts to Aston Villa and shouts to the people who are going to be fading them tomorrow. Otherwise, we have Manchester City home against Newcastle, Fulham home against Nottingham Forest, West Ham home against Brentford. A variety of matches, you could say. Manchester City, Newcastle, intriguing. Difficult, I guess, in terms of how to read that one. Man City allowing goals to everyone. Nottingham Forest, good defense, but they can be had. They can be got by certain teams, and I wouldn't be surprised if Fulham was one of those teams that got them. And then West Ham Brentford could also be a game that leads to goals. So an interesting slate here, Ryan. Interesting prices, incorrect prices at times, but what's your first read here on the slate?
Yeah, similar thoughts to you. It's an interesting slate. I like the slate. City and Newcastle, kind of the marquee game with the highest total. Deciding what to do with that game will be important for tournaments. Villa as the highest, or as the biggest favorite, the biggest total. Like you said, they've let down in these spots so many times. It's a good spot, but it's tough to click a lot of their players, especially over some of the other options we have. Bournemouth in a great spot with some favorable pricing. They've been playing great. Southampton have been a great team to target, so you have to really like Bournemouth here. And then that Fulham Forest game might go a bit overlooked, and West Ham Brentford, but I agree that Fulham, sneaky spot for Fulham. I mean, we just saw, didn't someone just put 7 past Forest? I know they bounced back after that, but
it was the opposite. It
was
the
Forest
opposite.
Put 7 past Brighton.
But Bournemouth, I think it was Bournemouth put 5 on Forest.
5, okay, that was it. Fulham aren't Bournemouth, but we've seen Fulham show up at home and with some good performances this season. So yeah, I agree there. And then West Ham. You never know which West Ham you're going to get. I guess they've been pretty bad for the most part, but they were a little bit better in their last match. I don't know how. I don't have too high of hopes for them under Graham Potter at the moment, but for tournaments, I think that game will go a bit overlooked. I mean, I know I'm almost like the most expensive player on the slate. Yeah, 11K. I can't really see people going there, but fun slate. I think the City. I mean, what are you going to do with the City? What are you going to do with City and Villa and Bournemouth? It's tough.
Yeah, I think lineups are going to play a pretty hefty role in a lot of these games. And I mean, we could start with Villa here. I think the thing you're looking at, we could see Asensio start. We could see Rashford start. We could see Malen start. We got these 3 new signings. Ollie Watkins coming back from injury. How healthy is he going to be? We basically know that. Maybe we don't know about Watkins, how many minutes he's going to get if he starts. We know Ramsey's going to sub off. We know Bailey is going to sub off. So that's something to keep in mind. Morgan Rogers still seems like he's a 90-minute guy. Probably not going to change anything for him. So that is one thing you definitely want to take into account with Aston Villa. We're going to be talking about Marmoush. Obviously, it's going to depend on, is De Bruyne going to be in the starting 11 for Manchester City? I don't think he will be with the second leg of Real Madrid coming up. Just things like this across the board. Tavernier back in the starting 11 for the first time since his injury, so that maybe changes some things up for Bournemouth, something to keep an eye on. Got a couple injury things going on with Newcastle and their back line. Maybe that opens up for, I don't know, maybe you like Manchester City if something like Emil Kraft starts on their back line, something weird like that. Evan Ferguson, now a number 9 option for West Ham. They haven't really had anyone other than Danny Ings for the last month. So that comes into play in terms of even starting or coming off the bench. We got a lot of things like this across the board. The Jensen Damsgaard situation is always in there. Nottingham Forest, are they going to play with 3 center backs, or is Hudson-Odoi going to be ready to start? There's stuff like this across the board. So let's get into forward here, unless you had any overarching thoughts.
Is Tav going to start? Have you heard that?
I think he is. He came off the bench a couple times, and I just think he's preferred to David Brooks. I think is just what it comes down to.
Yeah, I could see it. Okay.
What actually he did start against Everton, so he started in their last game. So
in the cup.
Yeah, he went 78 minutes, so that was on the 8th. So that he'll have a full week here. Semenyo went 90 in that game. It was a pretty strong lineup outside of Jebison and Winterburn. They basically played all their guys outside of those two. So
yeah. Okay, nice. Yeah. So forward.
Yeah, I would say Tavernier starts. Obviously not guaranteed, but obviously that would change up some things because he's a cheap midfielder. But yeah, forward. What do you got?
Well, Haaland, 10.6K, minus 120 to score. I'm not going to go there on a slate like this, obviously.
I wrote my article. I said over 1,000 words. I didn't mention Haaland once, and I was like, I'm leaving it. Screw it. No mention for me.
Okay, good. Some people hate when I say this, but some people like him. Some people will play him. I mean, highest goal scoring odds on the slate. It can't be the worst, but
that said, he was like 20% midweek against Real Madrid, I think, something like that. And I mean, he got a brace, so he performed, but like
it can't be that bad. Like game has the highest total.
Yeah, it's not. He's not a bad play because he's Haaland and because Manchester City score goals, but it is. I guess it's a little more. I think it's a little more different on this because we don't have the Real Madrid guys you're competing with. I guess is what you can say.
Yeah. So after that. I mean, I would just actually start by team, like starting with the biggest favorite, Villa. Is there anyone from Villa forwards that we want to play in cash? 10.2K Watkins coming off an injury. I mean, no chance, right? I mean, strictly a tournament play. The only other guy that's you're not going to play Rashford or Asensio. Obviously, they probably won't even start. Morgan Rogers for 6,800. That's not bad. You might expect him to be more expensive in this spot with how good he's been. I agree, probably still a 90-minute player, but maybe an 80-minute player they just have so many attacking subs now, and not really any center forwards that I know of, right? Did they only have, they pretty much only have Watkins.
Yeah, Malen started basically centrally in their FA Cup game.
And then Bournemouth after that, Kluivert 7,700. Still taking a share of sets as long as Cook plays right back, which looks to continue. Kluivert taking pens.
Is that the case with Tavernier?
Yeah. Kluivert on pens.
No,
he
sorry.
Hasn't even missed. Sets. Yeah, because Tavernier is left-footed. So Tavernier and Brooks are the same thing. You can just think of them as the same thing. So 77 with a share of corners and penalty kicks, definitely in the cash conversation. Semenyo, we always talk about it. He's just always plays 90, good goal scoring odds, great matchup. I think you can consider him in any format. Katara will go overlooked. Better tournament play. We just saw him score a hat trick against Forest. After that, yeah, City. Who else is going to start for City? Marmouche. It's underpriced, 6,200. I think he'll probably be on sets. I agree with that lineup that you have. KDB shouldn't start here.
No.
I feel like it's going to be hard for City to get up for this spot. The league is gone.
Right.
The loss last week was heartbreaking, and they have to prepare to go to Madrid to save their season. So I'm not too in love with this spot for City, but Marmouche is too cheap. And if he's going to have sets, he might be the first guy in. I mean, that's just he shouldn't be 6,200 or whatever. Is that what he is? 60? Yeah, 6,200.
Yep.
After that, who's after that? Fulham. Not going to play any Fulham forwards in cash. West Ham, Bowen, 8,800. Not going to play him without any sets. Going to go overlooked for tournaments. So yeah, I guess for cash, I think you're looking at a Bournemouth player in Marmouche. Seems pretty straightforward. What do you think?
Yeah, I was gonna say that word as well. It's pretty straightforward. Marmouche is more than 3K cheaper than Foden and De Bruyne, which is basically all you need to know.
It's
just a pure mispricing here, and even though whatever you think about Manchester City, they're at home, set pieces. He might actually go 90 minutes here because of Champions League, because of that midweek game. We might see De Bruyne just be completely rested. So you just can't really fade it. And I think, as you said, you're kind of looking at just the Bournemouth pieces who are also, I'd argue, underpriced as well.
Yep.
I mean, obviously you can't price them all at 10K, but maybe they shouldn't all be, Dango at 7K as their central striker. Probably not.
Yeah, and they go 90 minutes too. At least two of them, maybe all three of them. So the Bournemouth players feel pretty good. I agree. And then Marmouche is just way too cheap. So I guess really all that's left to talk about would be what to do for tournaments.
I guess my question.
I mean, maybe unless I guess if we need money for somewhere else,
you're gonna say Onuachu?
It doesn't seem that way. No, I'm just saying I'm just saying I don't want to call them locks. If the construction doesn't call for it, but it seems like it probably will.
Yeah, my question was going to be. So you're on Kluivert as the Bournemouth guy?
No, not really. I think it's a toss-up. Okay. I think it's a toss-up. I would, if Kluivert didn't have pens, I would be on Semenyo. But because he does, it's just got to be a toss-up. Kluivert he scored so many goals this season.
I actually kind of like Dango.
Yeah, I mean, I like Dango too.
He's a little cheaper, and it just feels like this.
He just doesn't have the floor as those guys.
He still, I think he still has the shot floor, just in terms of his position. I mean, you can look at his games, but a lot of these recent Bournemouth games are against good, really good teams, which Southampton are not. He is still getting 3-4 shots.
Yeah, 5 against Palace, 5 against West Ham. I mean, yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't compare at Chelsea, home against Liverpool as, the same type of matchup as this. Is kind of what my thoughts were. It's I still think he's going to get, he's going to be at least 3-4 shots here. Seems like a spot where, Bournemouth are one of the best pressing teams in the league. Southampton make mistakes. They're going to press Ryan Manning. He's going to turn the ball over, and Semenyo is going to pass it to Dango, who is the central striker, and he's going to get the opportunities. That's at least how I see it in my mind when I'm favoring Dango in this spot. That's at least what I'm telling myself.
I think it's a good call. I think it'd be less popular than the other two also.
Yeah, especially, without PKs, without sets, I think he'll definitely be less popular. But yeah, Onuachu. No, I'm just kidding. There isn't really anyone you want to play in cash games, right? Unless Evan Ferguson starts, and then you can be like, yeah, Evan Ferguson 4K, let's go.
And I wouldn't. Yeah, I think that would be a mistake too. For tournaments, that's fine, but yeah, no, I don't. Not for cash. I'm not really considering anything down here.
If Aaron Cresswell did not start, would you consider Bowen at 8,800?
I mean, I'd be worried that Emerson would just take instead, or Paqueta.
Still, okay.
I mean, it'd be enough of a worry, you know.
Yeah, it's been hit or miss, so who knows?
You know, if Bournemouth weren't playing Southampton, maybe. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I mean home against Brentford is good, but also Bowen is 2K more than those guys, so
yeah,
you also got to take that into account. Yeah, that's kind of it. I usually bring up a Southampton guy or a Hutchinson, but at Aston Villa against Bournemouth, just not feeling those matchups.
Yeah,
at least for these forwards.
No, I get a tournament play might be like Anthony Elanga for 9K, just with sets, and because he's been crushing and nobody's going to play him. So there's a path, I guess.
I mean, how popular is Chris Wood going to be? Same price?
Not at all. Way less. But like, I'm never paying 92 for Chris Wood. You can at least make the sale with Elanga. I guess you could make it with Wood, but come on, you need a brace, I would think, for that price. With Elanga, you just need one goal.
So if Nottingham Forest and Newcastle both score 3 goals, would you rather have Isak and Gordon or Wood and Elanga?
Probably just one of them.
Or just one?
Probably just one of them.
Would it be Isak or Wood then? Who do you think's more popular between Isak and Wood? Or does it not matter because it's still going to be like...
It's just, they're both going to be unowned, right?
Right, like sub 10% probably.
For sure, yeah. I mean, maybe Isak will be higher owned, would be my guess, but he's 10-8 at City, I think people might see, though.
It's crazy.
There's a narrative around City, like, they just kind of got battered by Madrid. They could have given up more goals. I don't know. And Isak's just on fire. But yeah, none of them are going to be owned.
Yeah, I kind of want to do it. I kind of want to play Isak because he's awesome. But
you can probably afford. You can afford.
I almost kind of don't. Yeah. Like, I don't think money is really an issue. We're talking about these Bournemouth guys. We're talking about Marmoush at 6,200. Like, you can get there.
I haven't even tried building lineups yet, but you can probably even get to Mbomo.
Oh yeah, you definitely can. As we get going here, like my utility spot, I had more than 11K.
Yeah, I didn't really realize. Because
you can do a lot here. So let's get into midfield here. Speaking of doing a lot, do you want to play Phil Foden at 9,600, assuming he starts here on one of the wings? I guess we didn't mention Savinho here. He's 7,600, so he's a little cheaper. So also continuing that Man City conversation, we got Marmoush 6,200. Are we still considering these other more expensive Man City pieces?
I mean, I guess you got to consider Foden, especially if you have the money. But I don't just like, he wouldn't be a priority, I don't think, for that price, home to Newcastle. But like going down the list, are you going to pay 8K for Tielemans? Probably not. I don't know. It's not the worst, I guess. I don't know.
You're not going to pay. You're not going to pay 8K.
No, you're not going to pay 8K
for Tielemans.
I'm just going. You're not going to put Pereira's not starting. Can't really play McGinn, I don't think, with all their subs. I don't want to.
Do you want me to tell you the guys here? You want me to tell you the guys?
Tavernier
6,300. Everyone's favorite, Julio Enciso is 5,700. Damsgaard is 5,600. And then you can get into, no set pieces, but you can get into some of the West Ham guys. Kudus, Paqueta, Matias Fernandez is 5,100 as well, home against Bournemouth. So those are kind of the standouts.
So this range is loaded. Yeah, no, then no, I'm not getting to Foden. I mean, no chance.
Yeah.
Yeah, this range is loaded, right? I would like Tav if he starts, or Brooks, but also they're going to get subbed for one another most likely, right? I mean,
At
yeah,
what
you'd
point
think
do you
so.
care about a sub in the 75th minute for Tavernier if
Mm.
they're scoring 3 goals in those 75 minutes? Because Southampton are terrible.
Yeah, I mean, I would still care because he might not be involved in any. He's like the fourth most likely to be involved, right?
But he's 6,300.
Yeah, no, yeah. So I think, yeah, he's underpriced, right? Underpriced. Yeah. Damsgaard had what, 23, 22 and a half floor against Spurs last time out. Just crazy. They just dominated Spurs. He's got to be fine for 5,600. Right? Not as long as Jensen doesn't start, but
Yeah.
Jensen hasn't been starting really. So yeah, that seems fine.
It's
And
and
CISO, I can't go there. I mean,
Okay.
just how can you play how can you play a Ipswich guy on the slate? The slate's too big. Like,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
I'm
you
only
look at Aston Villa's lineup and notice their injuries and try and build the case off of that. I guess that's kind of what it is.
yeah. I mean, I never mind playing teams against Villa or players against Villa, but not here. Like, I don't really see a need to play anyone from an underdog in cash games. The pricing's not tight enough. Like, I mean, who would it be? Mbomo, I guess, but like, I don't think you need it.
Do you like Fernandez 5,100?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I guess I take that back. Fernandez is definitely in play. Like, he's similar to these other mids. Like, if somebody liked him more than Damsgaard, I think that's fine. Or even more than a Bournemouth guy, I guess. Yeah, like Fernandez, because Fernandez feels pretty safe. He's cheaper. He should play 90. You're pretty sure he's going to take half the sets, right? Like, I kind of like Fernandez.
Yeah, Southampton played a pretty strong side against Burnley in the FA Cup, and he was still on sets. And
They lost.
They lost 1-0.
Southampton were like big favorites too because Burnley rotated like their whole team, playing players that like barely even played. They were like trying to just give up their clean sheet streak. Like, it was the perfect spot for it, and Southampton still couldn't do it.
Tough. Fresh off a
Yeah.
win. Fresh off an Ipswich Town win as well.
Yeah, it was pretty brutal.
Tough times. Yeah, I'll talk about the Southampton defensive situation as we get going, but yeah, I guess these West Ham guys. So Kudus is 5,600. Paqueta is 4,700. I guess I haven't even considered James Ward-Prowse starting, which I think is a real possibility here.
Please no.
Oh my gosh, he's 3,400.
Please
Oh
no.
man, I haven't even considered this yet. Okay, what would you do if James Ward-Prowse started?
I wouldn't want to play him.
Okay.
But he'd be a way to get, expensive guys. If you want to play the expensiit guys,
Do you think
Mbeumo,
Potter would
Foden.
start Ward-Prowse and Suchek in this midfield without Edson? They started was it Andy Irving in the
maybe.
last game? I think that man, it is real. It's a real thing. So something to consider. You don't need the money though. That's the only problem here is you don't need the 3,400 for Ward-Prowse. Though if he gets 15 points, you're going to be kicking yourself and you're going to be saying, I'm done with DFS. I'm done with all of this and I'm done with James Ward-Prowse. That's what you'll be saying.
I guess it's just if you want to spend up for anybody, which
he also goes on PKs, right? Oh, jeez. He's got to.
I don't know, dude. I don't know. I don't want to guarantee it. Like, are you going to, has Paqueta even missed? I don't know. Like,
yeah.
Why do you make,
has Ward-Prowse ever missed?
Well, this isn't the same Ward-Prowse. This is like,
he can still kick the ball.
Ward-Prowse. Yeah, sure. But like,
ball.
Confidence levels are down. I'm serious. Like, it's been a while for James. Man. I don't know. I just like to let Alpha Paqueta keep taking the pens. been a tough year for him though too. But yeah, Kudus for 56. Of course, I love that. I'm just a sucker for Kudus, but if you look at his game logs, he's cost me tons of money this season.
You've lost.
So,
You've lost on every slate.
yeah, pretty much. So, and like with all the guys we talked about that are taking sets, and just with how bad West Ham have been, he's fine. You're going to need a goal involvement, though, obviously. I like him for tournaments. Paqueta, I would like to if he starts. Is he okay, Paqueta?
Yeah, I think he's good.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a good option too. I think West Ham guys are too cheap. You just never know what you're going to get, but I'm going to be playing some in tournaments for sure.
Yeah, West Ham are one of these teams, new manager, and I think they've. You look through the results, and it's like, okay, Graham Potter, he's doing this. Like they get the win against Fulham. The following game, they're a complete dud against Crystal Palace, 0.28 expected goals in that game at home, and then the next game they battle at Aston Villa. They probably should have won that game. Looked like the better team for a lot of it at Aston Villa. Then they were decent for some parts of that Chelsea game. Then they eventually let it go. Unfortunate own goal by Wan-Bissaka. Outplayed in that one, but still it was at Chelsea. It's been like an off and on thing. We could see a thing where Brentford take what they did against Tottenham and they just put it on West Ham, and they're the team that's dominant. They have the possession, they have the opportunities. Or we could see it the other way because Brentford are a team that is also inconsistent in terms of what they're going to do. So we could see maybe West Ham rack up the opportunities. So it's just one of these situations where maybe if you're all in, maybe if you like one of the situations, maybe go all in on it and hope for 2 or 3 goals from one of the sides. So, I mean, you could do that. Again, we have these weird prices with Brentford. We have Mbomo at 11K, and for some reason, Wissa is down at 5,900. He's been expensive the majority of the season. So you just these weird prices, but
I missed that. Yeah, right. That's weird. That's what I was thinking with Marmoush too. He was over 10K on the last 2 slates, and 62 now. Like I don't get it, but
it doesn't make sense.
I figured Wissa would be more expensive too, but that's
Kevin Schott is 50. Yeah, Kevin Schott 5,400. It's like all the guys you want to play are like in this 5-6K range, and one of these guys is going to get a brace. Set pieces may not matter, and that's who's going to win tournaments. It's kind of It almost seems like that's what it's going to come down to, and then you're going to have the money to spend up on one of these expensive players, and it's going to be Isak, it's going to be Haaland, it's going to be
actually seeing all this Bowen. Now. Yeah, all this and thinking about defender that's coming up, I can see people getting to expensive forwards more than I originally thought, for sure.
Haaland more popular than you'd expect.
Yeah. I mean, at least a little, but I mean, even like, I mean, you can get to Bowen if you want. You could get to Isak if you wanted. Like, you can get to Ollie Watkins if you wanted. But it's tough to choose like which one of those guys. So I don't know.
Yeah, and that kind of makes it a little difficult in cash games because you have money left over a little bit, but I guess as we get into the defender here, I guess that's why
maybe not. Yeah, maybe you just play.
If you just go, okay, here's Luca Digne at 6K, home against Ipswich, the most unexciting 6K you'll ever spend, but here he is. You're gonna have the money. Yeah. Let's play him, I guess. Is that kind of what it comes down to?
I mean, I guess, man. I guess. I mean, no one fades Digne more than me. It's been going great, for the most part. Recently, it's been going great. I always say the same thing. I really worry about the sub. He hasn't even been doing that great, but the matchup is great. He's still taking most of the sets. He took like 2/3 of them last game. If you get the 80 plus minutes, he should just smash. So yeah, for cash games, I think you probably just go there.
You know what? I've been fading Digne basically all season as well. And then this FA Cup game came around Sunday, home against Tottenham. Was like, okay, Villa, they're at home. They're gonna get corners. Like, I'll captain Digne here, and let's see what happens. No corners, 2 crosses. I think he had like 2 points or something. You just
no corners. I didn't see that.
You just can't win anything here.
Did they not have any corners or something?
They had corners. It might have been after he went off, or
I'm gonna
it,
check.
it might have been the other side. I don't know. He went off at 81, so
They
I'm
had
not sure.
They had 4 corners.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Tielemans had some
Yeah,
there.
Tielemans took 2 of them, and then maybe a sub. Yeah. Anyways,
Yeah, it's just like
it's so like I hate it, but
Villa could dominate the match, win 3-0, and Digne would be sitting here with no corners, one cross, comes off at the 70th minute because the game's over, and you're like, okay, 3 points, cool. Or it could be what happened. I don't know. Even that Wolverhampton game, he wasn't great. But I mean, you just look through his game logs. It's like his max is almost 10 points. I don't know. I don't even know if I can get there, even if I have the money. I don't know if I want to play him. I don't know.
yeah, I think that that's about how I feel. That's how most people feel. But for cash games, I see people playing him.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, definitely. Anthony Robinson, 5,400, a little more difficult of a matchup, but I think Anthony Robinson is more exciting and more consistent than Digne without set pieces. Would you agree? Would you rather play Robinson, or because the matchup you're still on, it still just makes more sense to play Digne there?
Yeah, I don't know. It's close. I like Robinson for sure. 10 assists this season is just crazy. But you know what you're going to get. Always 90 minutes, and he scores floor points in all different ways. Yeah, I feel good about Robinson. If somebody preferred him, I think that's fine. Maybe you can get to both. Who else is there? Lewis Hall at City. Don't think we're going to do that.
I think
We've
that
already. Go ahead.
Bournemouth, we got Kirkez is, I think, one of my favorites at 4,600.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I was going to say Gavardiol overpriced at 51. Kirkaz looks good at 46.
Wan-Bissaka at 43.
Yep.
Whoever is a wing back for Southampton, I think is okay. But again,
Yeah,
don't really need the money.
Yeah, Manning took sets again. He started in the cup, took sets, played
Are
on
you
the wing.
positive? Are you
Yeah.
positive he took sets? I just looked at that. Fernandez took their sets. Or corners at
Manning didn't
least.
take any.
I think they had like 3 corners.
Oh,
No, maybe they only
okay.
had 2 corners and Fernandez took both. Yeah.
Okay. 2 corners at home against Burnley chasing.
Yeah, I bet that.
I don't know if I can play. What is that? I mean,
Yeah,
okay.
what I wanted to say though in that game, so Wellington, we played Wellington as a wing back a couple weeks ago. Wellington was a center back because Harwood Bellis is hurt and he's out. So Manning played on the left wing, Kyle Walker Peters was on the right wing. So that's just something to keep an eye on because obviously you don't want to play Wellington as a center back. If he's a wing back, that changes things because he's 2,900, but just something you want to look at once lineups are out.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because I played him. I played him on that slate on a couple lineups, thinking he would be wing back, and he was not. um, yeah, they only had 2 corners. Wild. Burnley had 0. What a game.
Thoughts on Cresswell at 3,400?
I can't do it playing center back, but it's fine, right?
Set piece center back.
Yeah, it's fine. He even took a couple shots. Like he'll get forward once in a while, even from that left center back spot. But it's fine, Adam. What do you want? Like I don't know. I'd rather play a center back, but I guess 3,400. It can't be the worst at home against Brentford.
Dean Huyson or Zabarnia?
Actually, I guess. No, I'm just thinking like West Ham actually have some semblance of clean sheet odds in this spot. And so for Cresswell's price to go down even and be taking the sets, I get it.
He's okay.
I get it. Yeah, I thought he would be I was expecting 4K for him or something, but for 3,400, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
who did you say after that?
I just mentioned the Bournemouth center backs.
Oh, yeah. that Tyson, he's been good. Kyle
Yeah,
Walker-Peters only 3,200.
Yeah, as everyone has found out by now, because my article is out, rotowire.com/soccer trial, 48-hour trial. But I did mention him in my article, just a wing back for 3,200, and he's at home. And, he does a little bit. He usually does a little bit of everything. I think he has like a chance created in his last 4 or something like that. So, he's not one of these exciting plays, but he's 3,200. So, that's, what are you expecting from a $3,200 defender, I guess?
Right. Sorry, I saw that Brighton are up 2-0.
Oh,
yeah.
Dang, should have taken money line, huh?
Apparently.
Minta. All right, cool.
Minta and Mitoma.
Yeah, the
Verbruggen assist.
Let's go, Verbruggen, captain.
Let's go.
I think I played Welbeck in that lineup, though. I can't remember.
Welbeck got the other assist, I believe.
Madueke hurt as well. All right. Well, that is Friday Brighton versus Chelsea talk. We still got to talk about goalkeepers here. I think this is kind of an interesting goalkeeper slate. I wrote in my article that I actually wrote up an expensive goalkeeper, even though I have said many times I no longer want to play an expensive goalkeeper. But all of these cheaper goalkeepers aren't like standing out to me, because if we look at some of these teams, I mean, some of them could, pop off, whatever. It's always possible. But Aston Villa, not like a high shot volume team. Bournemouth, always a team, especially in this spot, who could put up 3+ goals. You got the Man City Newcastle situation. How many shots on target are Man City going to get without a goal? I think Sells will probably be popular at 4,400 just because of his history. Can never trust the Brentford West Ham situation. I think Kepa just stands out to me just because Southampton are terrible, and you have the money. So I kind of I'm looking at that. But does someone else stand out, or is goalkeeper just stupid? And again,
I mean, Emmy's got the highest clean sheet odds, like by quite a bit, so he's okay. But
I don't believe that. I don't trust it. I trust Bournemouth a lot more, if I'm being honest. Aston Villa are starting Boubacar Kamara at center back. They might start Disasi, who hasn't played for him yet. Tyrone Mings is off an injury. Who knows who's going to be their right back? It could be Bogard. It could be Andres Garcia, who was a Segunda player for, can't remember the team right now. But Villa basically allow a goal off the counter in every game. Emi Martinez also hasn't been great recently. I'm not saying like Ipswich Town aren't good, but I just, even away from home, I personally trust Bournemouth more.
That's fair. I mean, I don't really want to pay. I'm not paying $6,000 for Emmy, but
yeah. But the odds suggest it. Yeah.
Should we have mentioned Leif Davis for 4K?
No.
Yeah.
Has he been good?
If you want a couple sets for Ipswich in that game,
Villa are
just 4K.
Villa are one of the best teams against not allowing corners in the league, and it's not like we're gonna see. Okay, we might see it after I say this. It's not like we're gonna see like 10 Ipswich corners.
No, definitely not. Like they're playing on the counter, like you said.
Yeah, so it's like okay, 5 points for 4K when you can get 5 points from all the other sub 4K guys I mentioned.
Yeah. Don't mind Kepa. I don't want to play Ederson, obviously. Neverson for that price.
Is he a perfect option because everyone hates him?
I mean, it might be. Yeah, I mean, I probably will. I might. Maybe I will end up there for tournaments, like on a couple lineups. I can see myself having 0 Newcastle players. Just like thinking of how we talked about the slate.
Yeah. So I didn't check to see Ederson's percentages against Real Madrid. So probably not popular, but
I think I'd rather play Leno. I'd rather play someone cheaper. Yeah, I don't know. I have no priority here. Whoever fits, whoever makes sense.
Yeah, and you might have enough for Kepa for Emmy. So and for Ederson, of course.
Yeah.
I think that's mostly it in cash games. Again, it's pretty. You're just going to come to like, where do you want to spend your money, which isn't really a normal slate. You're usually like, where do you need to save money? So this is where you want to spend money, and I don't know. That's a good question. Where do you want to spend your money, Ryan? Do you want to spend it for Luca Digne, or do you want to get up to a Brian and Bomo? I'm speaking specifically cash games here. Mbomo, Foden, Elanga,
Yeah, I
Bowen.
mean,
Do you
I
want
don't.
to spend up for these guys? I don't know. There's not really a great reason to spend up. I don't know. It's tough.
Yeah, I mean, you can't. I don't know if you need it. I don't think I like the mid-range options. I don't want to sacrifice my forwards. Um, Probably not.
Maybe I'll just spend up on Mbomo.
Maybe you can fit one though at the flex, like you said. I don't know.
Have you built the lineup yet?
Not really.
You should build one, because
Okay, I'm
depending
building
on
one right now.
depending on like, if you do the Bournemouth and
Quickly.
Marmoush at forward, the Tavernier and another 5K-ish midfield there, the guys we mentioned at defender, even assuming if you fade
Yeah,
Digne,
you have like all the money in the world.
you're gonna have money left. So
I see
I
that.
I wonder if that means Mbomo is going to be popular at 11K because he has been really good, or if someone else that we're not even considering
Yeah,
is
you
is
really
going to get
can.
more.
Yeah, maybe I will play one of those expensive guys. I see. Um, you can definitely fit Mbomo if you fade one of the defenders.
Do you think it's worth it to play 4 Bournemouth outfield players in this spot? It'd be like Dango,
Kirk,
Clivert,
is Kirkez one
Kirkes,
of them?
yeah, Kirkes, Tavernier.
Yeah, I think that's fine because of the minutes they play. And you got a lot of players on this slate that aren't as safe with their minutes. Tav is not, but the other guys are safe.
I will note Sinistera and Alex Scott. One of them may be
Are they
back in
back?
the maybe back in the bench. So also worth monitoring there.
Okay. Sinistera hasn't played for ages.
Yeah, I don't think either of them will be ready for more than 10 minutes. So
Yeah, okay. I wouldn't worry too much about that.
yeah. So we have the Bournemouth situation. We have the Aston Villa situation. This is what kind of routes stand out here in terms of tournaments? We've mentioned a little bit Manchester City. We've mentioned a little bit of everything, I guess.
I mean, I
It's
think
really
it's just
it's really a preference, because I think there's enough players here. I don't think anyone's going to be overly popular. Like, we're not going to get Haaland over 50%. Maybe Marmoush is going to be the most popular player. Maybe, I don't know, Clivert might be one of the more popular players, but I don't think there's going to be anyone who's just like, here, this guy is 70, 80%, and I'm going to fade him and hope he fails, kind of a thing. So it's
yeah.
kind of, yeah, it's kind of
Yeah.
do whatever you want, right?
Yeah, you're right. That's kind of nice. I think it's like you said, you could stack a team, you could stack a game. I think those are probably the best strategies for tournaments. You can also, there might just not be, it's a 5 game slate, like you said, with maybe not that much obvious chalk. Just play whoever you want. But I like the idea of stacking a team or a game and getting 4 goals and having a couple of the other spots bust, like we've seen Villa do in this spot, and City and whoever else. Take a chance on Fulham, like you mentioned at the start. West Ham, Brentford's interesting, just as an overall game. Play some cheap West Ham with Mbomo. You can play Wissa as leverage, cheap Wissa. I mean, there's infinite options.
Do you have a favorite option? A favorite game you're kind of looking at a little more than the others?
I mean, just in a vacuum, it's tough not to like Bournemouth. Um,
Do you think you could still win tournaments with, again, 3, 4 Bournemouth players? You can get different
yeah,
enough in your other
yeah,
spots?
For sure, because it's a big slate. It's a big slate. Yeah.
With Manchester City.
Yeah, with it or with West Ham, with one guy I probably should have mentioned, Sasa Lukic. Pretty good spot, and he took all the corners and played 90 minutes, and he's been taking all the minutes or corners. 12 floor against Newcastle. Harry Wilson's still out. Honestly, he's probably better than James Ward-Prowse at this point for the price, but I don't know. If you need to go, I don't know if I'll need to go down there, but could do worse.
Dang. Yeah, I guess another one where you got to watch the lineups because I guess I don't know if Kearney would take over him, but Andreas obviously would. So just another one to
Kearney might take a
lineups
couple left-footed ones. I believe Kearney's left-footed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. If you need money, which you probably don't, so.
Yeah, but you could. I mean, there's some expensive players. If you want to play Digne and an 11K guy, maybe you'll need money. Digne and 2 11K guys.
Yeah, speaking of forward, and while we're on Fulham and just speaking out tournament strategies here, we haven't mentioned Raul Jimenez here. He's not going to be popular. Maybe a little bit of an afterthought. People look at this Nottingham Forest defense. He's 6,500. Really, I guess anyone in this Fulham attack, I think, is worth. If you want to be a little different than everyone else, Jimenez. Let me check the other prices here. Jimenez is, I guess, I will be still up here at 8,400, but Jimenez is 6,500. Adama is 5,200. I can just see a situation where Fulham are hungry for a win, hungry for 3 points. They're at home. Nottingham Forest are a team that likes to sit back and go off the counter. Could be a situation where Fulham are just in the attacking third, heavy opportunities kind of thing. They're just ripping shots here and there, and maybe 1, maybe 2 goes in. Just these Fulham guys, I think, I don't know, sub 5% maybe.
Oh, I should have. I didn't see Adama there at 52. I have some interest in that for sure. Yeah, I agree.
He went 88 minutes last game. They have all these injuries, so
Raul, nobody's going to play Raul. Didn't Muniz come on too and score a couple goals or score the winner?
Yeah, Raul has been coming off at about 70, 75 or so.
Yeah, definitely like 5%, like you said. Traore, who might play Traore, but yeah, not much. Good calls.
Yeah, you can find little spots like this. The Aston Villa situation is like a situation in itself. If you want to go
Big Paul, is he ever going to score?
Not when when I play Kepa, he definitely will score. So.
Oh, I'm sorry, he did score. He scored against Ipswich last time out.
Yeah, you didn't play him for his 13 points?
I don't know how I missed that. No, for 13 points, yeah.
I'm pretty sure I actually had him in a lineup, but the rest of my lineup I can't remember. Do you think you'll target the Man City Newcastle game, or do you think these guys will be more popular than they should be because of the odds?
I don't know. I will play, I'm going to play Marmouche. I'm warming a little bit to Foden. I mean, all he really needs to do is outscore Mbomo. Like a lot of times, we just talked about you can get to Mbomo. Like if KDB's not out there, it could be just like a game that Foden bosses. But yeah, I could see myself getting there. Newcastle side's tough. I don't know. I get it with City haven't been great, but on a 5-game slate, I'm just not really targeting teams playing at City.
Yeah, it's tough, and yeah, it's
especially
tough.
like with the prices,
yeah, maybe I might.
I like other spots. I'm not going to force it.
I might just bet Newcastle over 1.5 goals or something. Whatever. See what their implied total is here.
Tough to even know where it's going to come from.
Could be anything. I mean, I was even looking at Jacob Murphy. He's He's 7,800. But yeah, like you said, it's just so difficult just playing guys at Man City when you have so many other options. Like you need more than 1 goal and 2 shots from Jacob Murphy to be worth it. You need a floor, or you need multiple goals and assists basically for these 8K range guys, especially with the Bournemouth guys who are cheaper. So that's difficult about these Newcastle guys. Even if you think they're going to score, are they going to have 20 shots? Are they going to have more than 10 shots? Like it's we know Man City have been bad, but it's still a spot that's
probably not, but I guess it's possible. Madrid were all over them.
Yeah, I mean, so in this situation, Anthony Gordon is Vinny Jr., Isak is can't really say Isak is Mbappe, but he's Mbappe. Murphy, Valverde, Grimarish, Jude. Then you got
Newcastle. They can do it. They just beat Arsenal 2-0 twice back to back in the cup. I mean, they've been in pretty good form for the most part. That midfield is legit. I know Joe Linton's out, which hurts, but with Joe Linton in there, their midfield is great. Still pretty good.
Just beating one of the worst teams in the Premier League mean everything, or
who, Arsenal?
All right. You got anything else here?
I got nothing else.
We basically mentioned every team here. Still unclear what my favorite route will be. I think I like that Fulham route a little bit. See what happens with some of these cheap guys. Aston Villa really hard to get to. Good luck playing Tielemans to, I don't know, the 20% of people in cash games. I guess maybe because people have money, they'll play Tielemans. I guess good luck on your 8 points. So shouts to them for playing Tielemans.
Good luck with anybody. Good luck to those who have the balls to click Leon Bailey here. That's what I'm gonna say.
He had a 15-point floor in some recent game. I can't remember what it was.
Now with Asensio, Rashford, and Matt Mallon, the guy who's always liable to get subbed like at 50 minutes anyways, is now just like all but guaranteed. But they're home to Ipswich. No, I'd rather play like a Southampton guy. Play a Southampton guy with Bournemouth. Play Dibbling, or Sulemana might start.
I think I really like Wissa here as a cheap Wissa.
Yeah.
Cheap player here.
I think a great play.
I think we could see goals in this West Ham Brentford game. So we'll see what these lineups look like.
And he's just in that range with all the set takers, like 4 set takers there.
Yeah, just get braces from Kudus and Wissa, and everyone else has 8 points from their 5-6K set piece taker. And
Adam, that's how you do it. Adam, you just said it. Braces. It's very easy. You just play your four Bournemouth guys with Kudus and Wissa. There you go.
Wait.
That's it.
We're not doing that. That's a bad strategy.
Yeah, no, forget that. I think I'm going to stack this City Newcastle game. I'm looking at.
Yeah,
I'm going to play Haaland and probably run it back with Lewis Hall.
Probably you probably want Ruben Diaz with Marmoush to get that center back goal, and then Grimarish to get that late Jude Bellingham goal. Yeah, definitely do that. Don't listen to us. Thank you everyone for listening. RotoWire.com/soccer trial 48-hour trial. Please give a thumbs up to this video. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We got more Champions League next week. We got the other 3 game. I think it's going to remain 3 game slates here for next week. So I think Ryan
those will be fun.
Yeah, I think Ryan and Mo will be back on those. If not, we'll have something on those. Either way, we'll have Champions League content. But again, rotowire.com/soccer got an article up for this 5-gamer as well. Ryan, you got anything else?
Only good luck.
Good luck to everyone. Rotowire.com/chat. Hit us up in the Discord for more, hopefully soccer-related banter. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, RotoWire. You can find him at Ryan Belongia. I'm at Zdroik. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Adam. Good luck, everybody.